Hello, my name is Ilona, and first I just want to talk about Hurricane Ian. And I've read some interesting information. I kind of do not remember exactly where I read it, but it stick with me, and it does line up with how I view things with the weather manipulation, because obviously the dark energies manipulated that. I believe that the Whiteheads are in control of most of the weather manipulations, but the dark energies still have some machines that they can work. So they have still locally can do devastating things because the hurricane is devastating right now. My heart goes out to the people in Florida for what's happening, the victims of this awful thing that's happening right now. The dark energies kind of work with the earth system itself, with mother nature itself. So mother nature of course creates the hurricane. Maybe they did create it, or they just how to say this, enhanced it, and they used a certain machine to do that. And the Whiteheads have now located where that machine is, and that's what's been going on for all this time. Above ground, a lot of things are happening in the sky, and under the ground they're kind of working through all these things that the dark energies might still have. And of course, if they start using it, then the Whiteheads will know, they can locate it and know where it's coming from. And they are trying to make sure that this hurricane isn't as devastating as the dark energies planned it. If I'm not mistaken, they can't immediately destroy the machine, otherwise it will just get worse. It could get out of control. So they try to minimize the damage and of course the hurt and the pain. They try to minimize it, and of course after that's been done, the hurricane is kind of gone, they will take care of the machine so they won't be able to use it. And that's what they've been doing around the world. So I'm sure a lot of people notice here in the Netherlands at least, and in Belgium, there's so much going on above our heads. A lot of air traffic, and I'm sure a lot of things are happening also with the help of the off-worlders. So I first want to take a look at the energy of Spain. What is going on in Spain? Let's see. We have the Seven of Cups. We have the Moon as the central card. In the past we have the Fool. Underneath the central card we have the Four of Wands. And for the future we have the Page of Swords and the Strength card. So right now it's very confusing. We have two very confusing cards. The Moon and Seven of Cups is confusing. People don't know what's really going on. I think it's very confusing which way they're heading. And I think it is because it will wake up people. I do believe this is done on purpose to confuse people. What's going on? Dark heads, white heads, the influences, what is going on? This is to show people things aren't right. And I do believe it has a certain effect, especially with the Four of Wands, that I do believe people in Spain are more and more connecting with each other, with the community, helping out. I do believe a lot of initiatives are starting, and I think that's very important. So the Four of Wands is that the people in Spain are actually coming together, probably because of all the things that are happening, the prices. People will have to connect to make it through. So this is a connection, but there's a lot of confusion purposely done to wake up people, to make them see like this isn't good. Our government is kind of working the different way than working for us. And I think that's necessary. Again, I've already explained it, to show people what's been going on and to make sure that people will not give away their powers again. We have to experience that in Spain. A lot of confusion, a lot of fear is coming up, especially with the moon. So there could be fearful things happening in Spain for people, of course, obviously, if you cannot afford things and you can maybe not even afford food or fuel. This can be terrifying, but this is a way, unfortunately, to wake up people, but it's necessary. Now for the near future we have the Page of Swords. So this is about new truths coming out, and I think worldwide we're going to see more and more truths coming out, and this is about strength. This is about showing and reconnecting the Spanish people with their own strength. And I think that's going to happen. I see, especially with this card, that more and more people are connecting with each other, helping each other out. And I think that's very, very important, because that will be the strength of any country, when people are connecting. And I think for, especially in Spain, there's going to be a lot of confusion. So people will wake up and start working, you know, making their own plans, helping out. And there's going to be more and more truth that will bring the people in Spain more into their power, maybe more waking up, understanding something's wrong, and that's very, very important. So this is the energy of Spain. I also want to take a look at France. What is going on in France? What is the energy there? So let's see the energy in France. Macron. Energy of France. We have the Temperance. And the central card is the Four of Cups. We've got the Five of Cups in the past. We have the Queen of Pentacles underneath the central card. For the future, we have the Lovers card. And we have the Seven of Swords. That's interesting. So there is healing. There is healing happening in France, but a lot of people are very dissatisfied with what's going on. I do believe that a lot of people in France are waking up, are completely against the government, what's going on. I think we're going to see more and more of this feeling of this is not what we want. They're not accepting whatever the government is giving them. They don't want this. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if things will happen there in the government as well. And of course with Macron, because the people are not taking this anymore. And there's a lot of healing going on. There's also a plan going on. This is the Queen of Pentacles. Usually the Queen and King of Pentacles have to do with planning, also with health. So I do think a lot of people in France are more looking towards health in another way, or maybe things are coming out about the stings and the damage of these stings. So I think in France, this not being happy with what's going on, this frustration, this anger will lead to other things. And it's very important, because it's important for the people in France to start connecting with their heart. I've mentioned this before. In France, of course, there's always been a lot of frustration and anger. So if something happened, they would immediately stand up. But it's very important that they stand up from strength and really connect with their emotions and with their feelings. Feel through this frustration and anger, and then feel, what should I do? Because then your actions are going to be way more powerful. If you step up with this frustration, this anger, you're going to meet it in the outside world. But if you really stand for yourself from this powerful connection with God, with your intuition, with Source, you are so powerful. You are so powerful. So that's very important for the people in France. This is also the card of trying to get away with things. So I think people are going to see what the government is trying to get away with. I think they're going to be caught red-handed. That's the feeling I'm getting with this card. So they think they can get away with certain, you know, they don't have to take responsibility for that. But I don't think the people of France are going to accept that. And they're going to be shown exactly who they are. There's already this incredible frustration with what's going on. And I think it's going to be emphasized, and it's really going to be shown. I do think some scandals will come out, and some things about the government will come out, and they're not going to get away with that. I truly don't believe that's going to happen. The people in France they will most likely stand up again, but it's very important that they connect first with their intuition. So if they do stand up, they will be way more powerful than if they stand up from this place of frustration, of anger, because then they'll be able, the dark energies are able of using that energy, and manipulating will be a lot easier, and things can escalate. And you really don't want that. If you're really firm in your intuition and stand up for yourself, you're not going to be manipulated. You're not going to make things escalate. You will know what is right for you and what is the right action to take. So that's the energy of France. And lastly, I want to take a look at the United Kingdom. Great Britain. What is going on there? What is going on in Great Britain? Especially now with the Bank of England. A lot of things were coming out last week. I just want to take a look there. We have the Star. That's interesting. We have the Hanged Man as the central card. We have the Four of Swords in the past. We've got the Seven of Swords underneath the Hanged Man. We have the Four of Pentacles in the near future. And the Five of Swords. Well, I have to say this looks pretty grim. I'm just going to take another card, the Two of Pentacles. I think a lot of things are going to be shown. Understand, if you are living in Great Britain, you are protected from the spiritual side. Probably a lot of things are happening in the sky. So it's very possible that you're going to see some stripes and suddenly everything is closed off. That's to make sure you don't see things. And I do think things are going to be more visible on the other hand, because they are showing themselves, the off-worlders, more and more. Not just in the Netherlands, in Belgium, around the world. So it wouldn't surprise me that in one way they will probably close off certain things, but they are going to make themselves known more. So it's very important. If they close it off, obviously something is going on that other people, that we're not supposed to be seeing. So also in Great Britain, a lot of things are happening in the sky, is my feeling. Well, to be very honest, this doesn't look like, in a way, good things. I think that, especially with the Hanged Man, it's very important to look at it from a different perspective and understand that this is necessary, especially with these cards. The Seven of Swords, the Four of Pentacles, and the Five of Swords. This is the collapse of the old system. So it's going to get very chaotic. People will panic. There's going to be fear, especially with this very grim atmosphere. But it's necessary to balance things out. This is about balancing things out. Trust that whatever is happening, that it's necessary to bring in new energy. The old has to collapse. The old has to go. People have to see the hypocrisy that's been going on with the government, not working for the people of Great Britain. A lot of people are seeing that. There's going to be anger. There's going to be probably more and more people speaking out. So my feeling, it's going to be quite hectic in Great Britain, and that will be necessary. It's about balancing things, but there is protection, so trust that it is ultimately going to be all right. And this is about changing the perspective of the people in Great Britain, and it of course will have an effect worldwide. I do believe that financially it's going to get tough, so it wouldn't surprise me at all if the bank is going to collapse. We'll have to wait and see. We know the financial system is ultimately going to collapse. We just don't know when. We know it's going to happen sooner or later, but it could start in Great Britain, which will cause a lot of, how do you say this? Of course, it's going to cause a lot of chaos and panic. We'll have to wait and see, but for Great Britain, this is all necessary. So trust that it's going to be all right. Connect with your intuition. Connect with God, with Source, and know that you are protected. Know you are safe. Just make sure you're prepared for things that could happen. But this is about balancing things. This is bringing back balance, and it's necessary, unfortunately. So I'd like to leave it at this. I hope to see you in another video. Bye.